It's been 1 year since COVID-19 first came to our area. Now, in a Wayne 15 digital original, meet one of the first patients from Northeast Indiana with COVID-19.
It took 7 months to basically get almost back to normal.
And as we work towards a new normal, see how the pandemic has changed our local frontline workers.
Many people have not only been affected personally, but have had family members and friends who have either become severely ill or have lost their lives.
Educators.
It takes a healthy and safe learning environment in order for us to engage, support, and challenge each learner.
And life in general.
If you step out of the box and take a look in, you can overcome challenges.
Virtual programming allows arts and cultural activities to be made available to even more people. So we've been able to serve new and different audiences, and that's been really exciting.
COVID-19, 1 year later. A Wayne 15 digital original, now on WANE.com.
Paper towels, and you can see the shelves are pretty empty.
We thought maybe she'd make it through it.
There was no option to say, oh, I'm afraid.
I can't expect them to work for free either. They got families and bills too.
But this is a pandemic.
Indiana has in fact received its first case of coronavirus COVID-19.
One year ago today, March 6th, 2020, the novel coronavirus was confirmed in Indiana. Thanks for joining us. For COVID-19, 1 year later, I'm Dirk Rowley.
And I'm Tara Brantley. From the initial shortage of groceries, toilet paper, masks, and respirators to the current hope for herd immunity, Wayne 15 has covered every piece of this pandemic. The last public event many of us remember in the old normal was the Fort Wayne Home and Garden Show. That was also the first time we heard about a case in our area.
We became aware of a case. Again, there's no cases in Allen County, but a confirmed case of COVID that did attend the Home and Garden Show on February 27th.
At the Home and Garden Show that weekend was Decatur resident Wally Gregg, who first noticed symptoms that Sunday. His diagnosis was confirmed March 11th. He would go on to be treated with a drug most of us had never heard of. Wayne 15 Sierra Tufts catches up with him 1 year later.
When we first met Wally Gregg, he told us about his experience receiving remdesivir for COVID-19. Gregg spent 16 days on a respirator and weeks in the ICU, sometimes completely unconscious.
I was one of the more severe cases just because of the respiratory issues. They started me on oxygen. I was on respirator for 16 days.
That was 61-year-old Wally Gregg in May of 2020. 2 months after receiving his COVID-19 diagnosis and being on the brink of losing his life.
I was very lucky. I had a lot of good care from, both the Adams County Hospital and Parkview North, and I was very grateful for that.
Wally received the experimental treatment remdesivir. At the time, he was one of 2 people to receive the treatment at Parkview Health. Parkview Health says it's still using the treatment and expanded the use to most of its hospitals. Even though Wally received his diagnosis a year ago, he's still feeling the effects of the virus.
No, I don't think I'm 100%. I don't know if I'll ever be 100%. I last said I thought I was 97%.
It took Wally about 7 months to get to that 97%.
Through that 7 months, the toughest part was the upper part of my body was really weak. My shoulders were very weak. They'd almost like melted away when I was in the hospital.
The past year has also given Wally time to reflect.
You have a much greater appreciation, I think, of everything that you do in life. And you hold people so dear to your heart, especially when you went through a time period where nobody could come in and see you in the hospital.
And an appreciation to still be here today.
So I'm just thankful that, it was decided that I needed another chance to still be here. And, I just really feel for those families that have had people pass.
Wally says his remaining symptoms are some neck pain and having a foggy memory. Sierra Tufts, Wayne 15 News.
The Home and Garden Show ended March 1st. Normal ended days later. Governor Eric Holcomb declared a public health emergency March 6th to coordinate the state's health resources. March 12th, he announced no more than 250 people in a room. People were encouraged to work from home. Days later, schools began to close and bars and restaurants shifted to carry out only. March 16th was also the first known COVID-19 death in Indiana. And then we heard this.
Hoosiers to hunker down. Stay at home.
That move started a domino effect, and the dominoes fell for weeks. Festivals.
Since it's such a large-scale event, and with so many moving parts, we had to, we had about a week left before we had to make our break and decide.
High school, college, and professional sports.
After Big Brother NHL announced they would be suspending its season, now the ECHL has canceled the remaining games in the season.
There is nothing like hoops in the Hoosier State. Unfortunately, there won't be any more this season.
If Mad Ants basketball won't be coming back this season, the NBA G League has canceled the remainder of that season.
I can't say that we're shocked by it. I mean, we've been preparing internally for this announcement to come.
And concerts.
We're projecting a loss that could be in the range of $2.9 million.
2020 quickly became the year that wasn't. The economy was hit hard.
From just a pretty busy place to zero.
Companies found new ways to do things.
We've been doing a lot of curbside pickups with Instagram and Facebook postings.
With a mixed measure of success. WANE 15's Brianna Brownlee has more.
Mainstream Boutique, Next Level Fitness, and LPC Nails were a few of the many businesses rocked by the pandemic. Tony Martino owns Next Level Fitness. When I first met him, he was concerned about receiving unemployment and applying for assistance. Now, nearly a year later, he says he experienced about a 20% decline in clients and income, but is happy to still be in business.
Here, because I'm just kind of going with it to see what happens with the vaccines and everything, but I think the more people get vaccinated when that age group comes down, my target age range is from 30 to 50, so right now those people aren't even able to get vaccinated yet.
Martino adds creativity helped him stay afloat. Becky Glaser, owner of Mainstream Boutique, agrees. She says when the stay-at-home order was implemented, she leaned on social media to push her products, which helped her develop stronger relationships with her customers, resulting in her silver lining in COVID-19's dark storm.
Getting support from my customers is the reason why I want to stay open and the reason why I get out of bed every day. And having that relationship with my customers, that's so gratifying. It means more to me than money.
Longwin's family owns LPC Nails. He told us when the stay-at-home order was lifted, business was booming and they were actually getting clients from Ohio. During this time last year, his family's shop was on the verge of closing. Despite losing a chunk in sales, he says as long as his shop is open and people are coming in, he's happy.
I just wish we were more prepared for last year. We were just blindsided. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if our business was going to be able to withstand this, how future clientele traffic will look like, but it's going to be a good year for everyone.
Before we get to the trials and heroics of the healthcare workers, we want to turn our attention to teachers. Indiana schools reopened in August. Teachers learned new ways to teach. Students learned new ways to learn and new ways to cope.
We're up to about 37% total remote students, so it's definitely provided this safety factor that we were hoping for and seeking.
The pandemic changed the traditional ways of education, growing and stretching students, teachers, and administrators. Local leaders in schools see the positives that have come from this pandemic, especially creativity that was put in for safe learning. The new normal includes avoiding daily hugs with students, empty hallways, and plenty of sanitation. The new normal also includes paying close attention to details more than ever before, which in turn has helped amp up instruction. The biggest accomplishment, digital learning.
We've had a great learning curve with the leveraging digital. I mean, we now know we can collaborate with anybody around the world, kids or adults. I mean, we've always known that, but it's different when you have to do it, because then it can become part of just your pedagogical practice.
When Evans reflects on how COVID has helped shape education, she believes the virus has been helpful in changing systems and